All right, new this morning, not the news you want to wake up to. A rate hike request from Eversource could be even higher than expected.
So Attorney General William Tong says the company, we're talking about Eversource, asking state regulators for an increase that could raise electric bills for all of us by 18%. Your reporter Sierra Jordan live outside Eversource headquarters in Berlin to break down all of these numbers for us. Good morning, Sierra.
Good morning. The Attorney General says customers would see higher costs than expected due to storm-related costs, and the proposed increase would still need approval from PURA before any changes could take effect. Eversource is asking state regulators for a $727 million annual rate increase, a move that could raise the average residential customer's bill by about 18%. That comes as Connecticut customers already pay some of the highest electric rates in the country. This would be its first formal rate hike in 9 years. But the filing is also raising questions over transparency. Eversource is asking to keep 300,000 documents confidential. Part of this request includes storm-related costs from 2018 through 2025. State regulators have already approved $933 million in storm costs, but they rejected more than $300 million in interest charges Eversource tried to pass along to customers. The Attorney General says even without those storm-related costs included, the proposed increase would still mean customers paying about 11% more on their electric bills. If approved, this rate hike could affect more than 3 million Connecticut customers. We are working to get those filing documents and have reached out to Eversource. Your reporter live in Berlin, Sierra Jordan, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.